opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect those of the Barbers Chat Network, our great partners at HMB Media, or any of our media peers. We're just five idiots who love sports and love to talk shit. If you're offended easily, then this show isn't for you. And for those of you who aren't offended easily, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Remember, it's only entertainment.
So cool.
Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on these player haters, old news. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold. My agent just said we made 100 flat. Make it back and make it stack. This like no Steven Jack. Put my rings up in the camera like I needed that. Up in the air and at the rim is where I meet them at.
So cool.
Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on these player haters, old news. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Scott here. Welcome to another edition of I'm Not Gonna Hold You. It is Friday, February 7th, 2025, man. Of course, you know to follow me on all social media platforms at Barber Chair Scott. You can follow the Barber's Chair, the Barber's Chair Company, a new rebranded at the Barber's Chair Co. By the way, it's still the Barber's Chair Network. I just wanted to put that out there. People act like, I know I probably didn't, with rebrands, you got to break shit down for people. There's still the Barber Chat Network. This show is still on the Barber Chat Network. It's just all under one big umbrella at the Barber Chat Company. I might change the socials back just so people won't be confused. I feel like there's been a lot of confusion. But for right now, follow at the Barber Chat Co. on Twitter and Instagram. Subscribe to our Patreon, patreon.com/Barbers Chat Network. As you can see right here on the screen. You can take your phone right up to it. The QR code will take you to the link. The link will take you to all four different tiers, man. And if you subscribe to the $10 holidays, Barber Share or access feed, you get 25% off your first order at the Barber Share Network store, and that is bcnetshop.com, man. So, and of course, follow HMB Media at HMB Media TV on Twitter and at HMB Media on Instagram. We were starting pretty late today. I'm still moving pretty slow. Just got back from New Orleans from Super Bowl week, media week, and everything like that. Did not stay for the game. It's getting crazy out there around this time. So I got out of there, did the work, came back. So that's why we started a little late. It was my fault. It wasn't nobody else's fault. It was my fault. So, but yeah, so just one last time, the Barber's Chair Company, we announced the rebrand on Monday. It's three different divisions under the same umbrella. There still is a Barber's Chair Network for podcasts and video and everything. So I'm probably 9 times out of 10 going to change the social back. It's been confusing a lot of people. The Barber's Chair Company is just a legal name any damn way. So stay tuned for updates on that this weekend because I'm going to probably change some things around on that. But anyway, this is the Super Bowl preview show here. We're going to preview everything about the Super Bowl, give our picks, keys to the game for both teams to win. Also going to talk a little bit of the NBA as well, man. Massive NBA trade deadline that I felt kind of overshadowed the NFL a little bit. I'll tell y'all a little bit about that in just a minute, man. And then we've got the homie Pappy is going to join us in hour 2 to talk about the trade deadline as well as we jump fully into the NBA season, man. Let's bring in my co-host for the day. We've got Mr. JR Bang and we've got Dante. You can follow Bang at JR Bang on all social media platforms. You can follow Dante at October Zone Tay on Twitter. Dante's live from Vegas. You can tell he got the Vegas shades on. How you feeling, my boy?
I am great, my boy. I am fresh off a couple of recon missions. I've been to 2 strip clubs.
Damn, nigga, already?
Trying to see what we're gonna do for my boy bachelor party while we out here. I mean, we had an idea, but I just had to confirm. And yeah, it's gonna be a good day. It's gonna be a great day.
Definitely looking forward to hearing the stories about that. I haven't been to Vegas in a couple of years. I need to get back in it. Orlando in the chat says Dante's just like Jodeci. That's hilarious. Bang, how you feeling on this Friday? I hope much better than you feeling earlier this week.
Look, man, I'm just glad that the weekend is here. Next week, me and the wife celebrate 10 years.
Oh, okay. Make some noise for that. All right.
Hey, that's what's up.
Monogamy. So getting ready for that and everything. Getting ready for the Super Bowl off weekend, unless something happens in the world. I'm excited.
Yeah, and just so everybody knows, for schedule wise, so of course we got our show today. We will have a show on Monday recapping the Super Bowl, everything that went down with that, whether we'll be talking about a three-peat or we're going to talk about Patrick Mahomes losing the Super Bowl. One or two we'll be talking about on Monday, and then we're also going to preview, I can't even say the second half of the NFL NBA season, because the second half was damn near a month ago. We've got a little over 30 games left in this season, so the stretch runs. We're going to preview that, and then we're off for 10 days, and the reason why, they're going to All-Star break. The NBA is going to All-Star break next week, so there's going to be no games until after this past Thursday till the Thursday after that. So we'll be back on the 24th of February. That's Friday, February 24th. We'll be back after that. So 10-day break as we get you ready for that stretch run. And we got a lot of stuff to talk about as well. I got a lot of cool guests coming up as well. So yeah, man, let's get right into it. I want to talk about my experience at the Super Bowl. Before we do that, I want to play a trailer. So I've got a vlog dropping tomorrow on H&B Media, on the Barbershop Network YouTubes. Just basically my 4 days in New Orleans, man. And I'm explaining everything and give y'all, what my experience was in just a minute. But I'm going to play y'all a quick trailer here on, everything that went down for what you can expect in tomorrow's vlog, man. So let's get into that. Not gonna hold you. Your boy Sky here. See the Superdome for Eagles Chiefs. What's your favorite Kendrick Lamar song he's performing at halftime?
I don't really listen to Kendrick Lamar.
We are here at Radio Row, man. We're here with the legendary Stu guys. We're here with the legendary Chris Mad Dog Russo. We're here with former NFL player Gerald McCoy, Matt Forte. We're here with the one and only Tom Pelissero here at NFL opening night for the Super Bowl. Tom, how you feeling?
Yeah, you can definitely see some flashes of what Caleb does.
Chance for 1 second?
Can't right now.
Okay. Hey, Brandon. Bears fans, we're here with the one and only DJ Moore.
It's amazing, the staff that they're putting together.
Ocho, you got one? Ocho, got one question. Ocho, you got time? Hey, Ocho. We gonna break it down for y'all. Let's go. Somebody in the chat said I wanted to throw something at Devonta Smith for not listening to Cam. Now that was my fault for asking Bama ass niggas to listen to Kendrick Lamar. The one theme that I found down there, a lot of down south players, them niggas just listen to who they listen to. Like niggas was naming random niggas who I ain't never heard of before, which tells you how out of date I am with some of
They listen to Kingpin, Skinny Pimp.
I don't know. So Darius Slay was naming some niggas I ain't never heard of before. So that's just really, and Darius Slay ain't young nigga. Like I'm pretty sure he's probably maybe a year or two younger than me. If he might be my age. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, man. So experience wise for the Super Bowl, y'all can check that vlog out. It was a cool week. Great weather out there. I haven't been to New Orleans in 24 years. And so the last time I went, I was 12. So obviously I couldn't experience all the things that the city has to offer because I was under fucking age. But this was cool, man. We had a great hotel. We were actually staying in a hotel that the Kansas City Chiefs were staying in. So when I tell you that the literal FBI was in the building, they were actually in the building. They had fucking drug dogs. I had tanks outside, nigga. I've never seen that much law enforcement in one area. Now, this isn't just all to protect the teams. Obviously, there was a terrorist attack that happened on Bourbon Street just a month earlier. I think it was around the Cotton Bowl or the Sugar Bowl, one of those bowls. So, but I'll say this. It was something that, first of all, I'm wild tired, which is a good tired, though. It's one of those I'm working tired. Not that, I'm just tired to be tired type shit. You got to have hustle for shits like this. I was able to get about 12 interviews, and I would have had a couple more if there wasn't some PR people out there, cock blocking. But overall, it was a great experience, man. I was glad I was able to experience it. Shout out to everybody who helped me take care of this in so short of a time. Like, the NFL didn't let me know I got a clear for this till like January 10th. So I was able to get everything together real good. Shout out to Courtney for holding me down with everything I needed help with. Shout out our super producer Nikhil for coming with me and filming everything that you guys have seen. I want to give a shout out to my boy Greg Braggs Jr. of CSGO. He really helped me out and kind of gave me like the tips on, what to do, what not to do. Got to give Bang some love for giving me some advice as well on what to do, what not to do. And also give a shout out to my boy Jared Payton. My man JP, always holding it down, man. So it was fun. Opening night, man, was a very crazy experience because it's like 50 things going on at the same time, with all of these different players there, all these different entertainers there, all these different media there. And it's like a race to get content, man. So I want to play this next video that we got, which is basically a collage of all of the interviews that I did down during opening night. Yo, we know you from the A, man. Who's your favorite Atlanta rapper to listen to when you get ready for the game, and why is it Future?
Ooh, you say who my favorite rapper?
Yeah, in the A.
That's tough right now. My two favorite one right now for sure is, I'm R.I.P. the Rich Homie. And I'm really a big Lucci fan and Young Thug fan. So, Lil Baby up there too as well. You know what I'm saying? But Future, it's too many. But my all-time favorite that always wins is Jeezy.
Jeezy.
Top number one, for sure.
Appreciate you. How's it feel to be in your first Super Bowl, man?
It's awesome, man. It's special. Not taking it for granted. Grateful to be here.
Jalen went down for a little bit, man. You came in there, really led the team, was able to get a victory. What does it say about this team that no matter how many people you have go down, you're able to step up and still be able to win games?
Yeah, I think, everyone puts their hand in the pile on this team, and anyone in that building has helped us win. I think that's what's so special, about this group, about this team. So it's next man up mentality, and every man's ready to go. Final question for you, man. Saquon Barkley having an incredible season. What has it been like having a first-hand watch and just having him this wild season he's been having? Yeah, it's special. It's special to watch him, go out there every Sunday. He's a great teammate, great player. I know he'll give everything, to win, and we're all doing the same. So it's pretty cool. Thank you, man. Appreciate you. Yo, we here with the legendary Matt Forte, man. Man, how you feeling? How you feel about this new era of Bears football led by Ben Johnson? Are you confident that Caleb can go to the next level with Ben Johnson?
I am. I like that hire. I know his offensive system. When it comes to the NFL, systems mean a lot, and the particular system that you're in can really make or break you as an impact player. So I'm kind of glad that they got him, and I like the other part of the coaching staff that he's forming around himself. One last question for you. We know you went to Tulane, man, out here. What do you think New Orleans brings to the Super Bowl atmosphere out here? It brings flavor. Yeah, every time you come down here, if you've never been, come down to New Orleans and you'll understand what I'm talking about. And if you have been, it's the flavor of the city, man. It's nothing like New Orleans, and it's a unique place. Appreciate you, man. Thank you. We here with the one and only Tom Pelissero here at NFL opening night for the Super Bowl. Tom, how you feeling?
I'm doing great, man. I'm already exhausted. I've been in the building for like 8 hours, but it's fun.
The Bears just started a new era of Ben Johnson. Tell me how you feel like this is going to translate and kind of take Caleb Williams to that next level.
Well, that's the goal. That's why the Bears were aggressive. That's why the Bears went outside their comfort zone in terms of how aggressive they were to bring him in. I mean, you go back through Bears history, I'm pretty sure they haven't hired a head coach, much less given them this type of money, without ever having him in Hallis Hall. So this was a different type of an era, but what they really set out to do was get somebody who was going to unlock Caleb Williams. That wasn't the whole goal, but that was definitely part of it. Somebody's going to hold him accountable and coach him hard. Ben Johnson has all those traits, and this is where Ben Johnson wanted to be. I think that's the other really important part of this was there was so much talk about the Raiders, you heard the Jaguars, but Ben Johnson liked the idea, not just for family reasons staying in the Midwest. It was also about the talent, the upside of the quarterback, a blue blood franchise. I mean, this is like a dream type job for Ben. I think, he's put together a staff that makes a ton of sense. Guys like Dennis Allen, who, I'll get out. Oh, good. Guys like Dennis Allen who have, been coaches highly respected for so long. It's always cool when a first-time head coach can get people because he knew that they were tough to play against. That's why he went out and got Dennis Allen here. So it's a long way of saying, we'll see how this works out. You never know. But philosophically, what they did and how they did it made a ton of sense for where the Chicago Bears are right now.
Bears fans were really antsy about the whole process of trying to get Ben Johnson. What kind of surprised you, if anything, about how the front office of Ryan Poles, George McCaskey, and Kevin Warren went about this whole situation?
Well, I think that, again, I understand there was probably some frustration when why are they interviewing 20 different people or whatever the number was, and why is it taking so long? But part of that was strategic because they knew Ben Johnson. You can go back through and see what I was saying all the way through December. I believed, based on what I knew, that was always the number one guy. Well, you couldn't hire him. He was in the playoffs. Even if they had won that game that they lost to Washington, they still would have been able to do the second interview with him that following week. Once the Lions lost, it very much became, hey, there's not time to do this. There's not time to, hey, he's got to come in. We have to do it. This is how the Bears have always done it. It was, listen, he's got an offer from the Raiders. If you want him, you got to make him an offer. And the Bears, again, did something that was maybe outside their comfort zone and made Ben Johnson a compelling offer. That's where he wanted to be, and they got the job done. So, I think that Kevin Warren and Ryan Poles and the McCaskies, working in concert through the course of this process, they had a vision for what they wanted to do. And the biggest thing, I think, too, was resources were not going to stop them from getting the best possible person. I've known Kevin Warren a long time. That's the way that his mind thinks, coming from, being with the Rams, with Dick Vermeil, and winning games and winning a Super Bowl. Those are the types of people he was used to being around. He's hoping he got his version of that in Ben Johnson.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you. We got Brandon Marshall right here. Hey, Brandon. I cover the Bears, man. You got one question? I got time for one question. You don't got it? Yeah, it's all good. Brandon Marshall from the Bears right here. Tom, what's your favorite? What's your favorite Kendrick Lamar song? He's performing at halftime.
I don't really listen to Kendrick Lamar.
Three-P, man, how would that feel like for you personally if you guys are able to get this done?
Well, it would feel really good. I'd start there. Dancing and excitement. It's just something, obviously, for us that we haven't talked about. We don't talk about it. But if and when it does happen, it'll be a lot of fun.
Well, I'm part of the Chicago Bears beat, so I want to ask you a couple of Chicago questions. Is there anything you see similar with Caleb Williams? And, of course, we know he's going to be with Ben Johnson. With you coaching Pat for all these last couple of years, is there anything you see from an offensive coordinator position that's kind of similar to you with those two?
Yeah, you can definitely see some flashes of what Caleb does. I mean, there's some plays that he makes really on his own and that some other people can't make. So when you see that, you really have a respect for what he's doing. He's being a rookie this year, it's not going to all be roses, but you can definitely see that he's got a lot behind him to be very, very successful. And I think probably most important than anything is just the way he handled himself mentally just throughout this whole process. He's been really, really great with that from my perspective from afar. So he's got a very bright future ahead of him.
Final question for you. I know there was like a rocky tenure in Chicago, some good times, some bad times. What were some of the good things that you just loved about living in the city of Chicago?
Yeah, well, the first couple years, first of all, we were winning, and it was not COVID. So it was a lot of fun. I mean, just being around the city and the people and just the amount of pride and passion that they had. Unfortunately, then COVID came, and that was tough because you couldn't really get around. I couldn't get down to the city very much. And then the last year, we went 6-11, so it was more difficult. It didn't end how we wanted, but it's just again, as a coach for me, just being able to reflect on those times. I know it's not what we wanted in the end, but there was a lot of stuff that I learned as a coach where I can be better, and I'm looking forward to being able to use that down the road myself personally.
Thank you.
No problem. Take care.
That was the video right there of all my opening night interviews, man. Shout out to anybody who let me interview them. One funny thing that did stand out to me was when Matt Nagy was bringing up COVID. Now I was trying to ask, what the fuck does that have to do with the way that second half of your tenure ended with the Bears, man? Basically, what's y'all thoughts on what we just said?
Go ahead, Dante.
I mean, as far as Matt, like anytime you failed at something, you're gonna try to, put a little put a spin on it, make it better than what it really was. So we all saw him. We saw the way that team fell apart. We saw how he really lost that team. So I mean, that was funny to hear him say that. Devontae saying he don't listen to Kendrick. That's somebody who lives in the South. I'm not surprised. A lot of them, they like who they like, G, and it's usually Southern artists. So I mean, when he said that and the way he just said it and sat back down, I was like, yeah, no, he's serious. Like it wasn't no OVO thing. It wasn't like I'm a Drake fan. He's just a nigga from the South. He don't listen to Dot like that. But nah, bro, it was a lot of good information, a lot of good people. I'm really excited for the overall blog, bro, because you did a lot of work. There was a lot. I gotta really tip my cap to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. And by the way, this is so fun. I thought that was a Don Julio sign in the background. I didn't know this nigga had the bottle up on the screen. I was like, nigga, they got a Don Julio sign?
No, this is a bottle, sir. We about to get
I could go warn him right now. Bang, it's pretty much what you described to me a couple days ago was pretty much you described it very well. It's like thank God I have some hustle and I have some finesse. If you don't have any of those, you're gonna be fucked.
You're cooked.
Okay? Yeah, you just came out here and you spent your money for no damn reason because you got to maneuver, you got to be quick. All those questions you heard came off the top of my head. I didn't write not one question down because I knew if I'm gonna be looking at my phone and trying to find people, it'd have been a whole thing, man. But Bang, and was there anything that stood out from people that I interviewed on opening night? And just tell me a little bit about your experience when you were dealing with the Super Bowl week when you have done it before.
So first, with my Super Bowl experience, shouts out to Chris Johnson, Brian Mitchell, legendary Washington Redskins /Commander, and the Team 980 team when they were under Radio 1. I had went there during the Super Bowl in Atlanta when the Rams went up against the Patriots. Man, look, my experience, I talked about it a little bit on the show last week, seeing Warren Sapp, Deion Sanders, Mike Worthen, vicinity triangle basically, and different media orgs talking shit to each other. One of the best moments that I had meeting Urlacher, Trubisky, seeing Jerry Rice walk right past me, linking up with the big homie Jared Payton. Like those were all dope. Getting to interview champion at the time, Deontay Wilder, and stuff. And you get connections too, right? This media industry is small, so when they see you there and if they continue seeing you there, people will look out for you. People will show you a lot of love. With that being said, yeah, you got your finesse game got to be on point, like especially on that second day when, as you said, all of the PR people are coming through. You don't have a table because like there's Radio Row, and I don't know how this was set up, but there's all of the orgs, and then it's the middle area is shit like in the middle, and people are just walking around, and your finesse game got to be on point. Hell, even if you are in Radio Row and you have a table, your finesse game got to be on point. Because it was some people that I wanted to grab that I couldn't get. One was
I definitely wanted to ask you that. Like when you have a table there, like you go around. I know shout out to homie Braggs. He was telling me the same thing. Like you book them for your table, but you still gotta like double check, make sure they still actually come to the table though, right?
Yeah, you can book people. People will reach out to you, be like, yo, y'all gonna be at the Super Bowl, want to get a chance to get at the table and stuff. See, because it's mapped. Like it's mapped out. So you can book all of those people, but they don't know what the map gonna look like.
Right.
So if you have somebody, if you're on the left side and the person you talking to want to talk to you, y'all all on the right and everything, and they might not get you. It was a couple of people that we were supposed to have that we didn't get, and stuff. So that's why sometimes you got to find people like that, text you, that ask you where you at. You might have an extra person there that'd be like a gopher, go grab some people for you and stuff. So yeah, just because you got a table, that don't mean they're gonna go to you.
Yeah.
Because you got ESPN, you got Fox Sports, you got CBS, you got all of the big wigs. They got also those big wigs, Sirius X and radio. Also, them big wigs got sets.
Yeah.
So you
they
see
sure
all
do.
this,
Yeah.
you see all of the sets and everything. And some of those places, they got areas where the crowd could come. I don't know how Sirius XM was this year, but the year that I went, they had an area where the crowd could come. Pat McAfee, he don't necessarily be there sometimes.
He was there. We watched the whole show.
It was one year, right? It was 1 year he wasn't there, but how, the people come to the mic, they'll do that. But the last couple of years, he's been there. And so they still kept the essence of that. And you see people just lining up to talk to that mic. They're not even sitting in the booth with him. So they have that there because it'll just be random ass people just coming up. Who's the man? What's the comedy dude? Jeffrey Ross. I was watching it earlier today, like Jerry, what's that? It is Jeremy Ross, the comedian that be doing the roast.
Jeff Ross, yeah.
Jeff Ross, yeah. He just walked past and he looked, he was like, oh shit. And he was just talking, like he just stopped and everything. So yeah, like even them, they don't book everybody, but if people walk past and they be like, yo, what up? I was watching the ESPN morning show and they were just talking about how like James Brown just walked past. And he was like, hey, oh, James Brown. So it's almost like even for those people, it's like, damn, you get to see people that you've grown up watching, that you always want to talk to, who are fans of you, and like, oh, can I get 5 minutes? It's like, oh, come up. But for smaller orgs, and even like sports radio, like even though you might be big, but nationally, but you ain't Series, you ain't ESPN morning show, you ain't First Take, you ain't all those people. You still got to get your finesse game on. Hey, yo, ESPN, we right over there. Hey, come. Hey, no, hey, boom. Text me when y'all on the way. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
And like I said, with Deontay Wilder, I was like, yo, can I get a couple of minutes with the champ? And they was like, yo, you got to interview Steven Espinosa first. I was like, all right, bet.
Yeah.
And they looked at me like, oh, he about to do it? And some people even see your moxie. They see your finesse game, and they like, yo, give him a question or two. It ain't gonna hurt.
Yeah, and I had about 5 or 6 other interviews that I got a yes from the talent.
But the PR person,
but the PR people was like, get the fuck up out of there. I'm not gonna name names because I want to eventually have interviews with these people, and I'm not a messy human being. But there was a former Super Bowl champion whose PR person basically looked at me like I was the scum of the earth when I told her I didn't have a table. So I had the Michael Jordan. Okay, so that's how we gonna take it. I took that person.
Yeah, they look at you like that James Franco gif, and they was like,
you're right, exactly.
You ain't got a what?
Yeah, you ain't got a table.
It's almost like, hey, Dante, it's almost like you being at Onyx. It's almost like you being in Onyx and you walk up in there and you just standing around. And you're like, oh, you ain't got no table? Oh, yeah. No, I'm going over there with the niggas with money.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. And I got to give a big shout out to DJ Moore because a redacted brand that I will not name, there are people who tried to stop my interview with him, and DJ was like, nah, he remembered me from covering the team, and DJ gave me a couple questions. So shout out to DJ. But yeah, man, and that, like you said, the way it's set up and everything, it's literally like it's like a full Florida Convention Center, and you just gotta keep laughing, keep circling. Like my knees feel like I have golf balls in them right now. Me and the kid was talking about it in the hotel, like. I don't know. It's gonna take me a couple days to recover. Like, there was a lot going on yesterday. I don't know who it was, but it must be because it was day 4. Niggas was mad musty at Radio Row yesterday. I went down there after the Kendrick presser. Oh my God, it was nasty. As you're an adult, you should not be smelling like that. So I'm gonna get into.
Hey, I thought that was just a joke.
No,
they was legit musty.
Niggas was legit musty down there.
Damn.
Niggas was legit musty down there. But it was cool to see like, oh, like I'm gonna give some advice to independent media, up and coming media. If you're trying to get a lot of content, go to opening night, go to the player interviews. The Chiefs had theirs. We were saying Hotel the Chiefs. So all you had to do is just go upstairs, go to those, and go to the first 2 days of Radio Row, Monday and Tuesday. If you're trying to get your best content, they ain't been asked 100 times for questions, and the big guns ain't there yet. Wednesday, you're fucked. Like,
and that's the other reason why.
Yeah.
That's the other reason why. Like, PR has scheduled interviews.
Yeah, exactly. Ahead of time.
With other people ahead of time. So stopping to talk to little old you can mess up the timing of doing what they need to do.
Yeah, but it's also annoying because the same person who I said that PR people wouldn't give me a second, they were waiting for their interview. I'm like, I could have asked your ass about 6 questions in this 10 minutes. You waiting for this motherfucker. But
Daniel Jacobs is the person, former middleweight champion. Daniel Jacobs was the person that's one of the people that I tried to get, and the PR person looked at me like, because he was messing with the Simmons girl at the time, Angela Simmons.
Oh, okay.
He was messing with Angela Simmons at the time.
Okay, yeah.
It's
interesting.
Yeah. So I tried to grab him, and they looked at me like, but then when I got Deontay Wilder, I was like, and they was like, yo, you want to grab him? I was like, no, I'm straight.
Right. I was walking around like after a while, after I got to a certain number of interviews, all right, let me look for importance. But when I tell you I waited out that damn K Adams show, I waited that whole last fucking hour out. And I could have got it, but I don't want to put people business out there. Fuck, I'm just saying. A team told me no. Fuck it, I don't give a shit. What they gonna do to me? Like, the team told me no, pretty much. Like, once you see like 3 or 4 people huddling around one person, that's when you know what time it is.
Yep.
So, even
the wrestlers, the wrestlers, like if it's anybody to get, it's the wrestlers. I interviewed Ken Shamrock. I missed a couple of people because I wasn't there. Like today, I saw Seth Rollins.
Must have came yesterday. I didn't see anyone else.
Today, they was there today.
Okay.
Seth Rollins was on McAfee. In the stand-up joint, he didn't even sit down. AJ Francis, like everybody gets sent. Like even some of your B-list actors be in that joint. Anybody who is anybody be at Radio Row. You could get anyone there. But that was 2019. Ken Shamrock. I had grabbed Ken Shamrock, and he was talking about how he wanted to come back to WWE for one last title run. And I was like, yeah, that ain't gonna happen, huh? Tony Schiavone was up in there looking like a straight. I ain't even gonna say it because I don't want to make my man feel bad, but he looked like he ran 2 militias. Not one, but 2.
I'll say this too. It was cool to watch McAfee show like live. That was cool to do. We watched like the interview, his beginning before he interviewed Fred Warner. I don't know where the hell Rich Eisen was at. He must have had a separate conference room because
sometimes they do.
Yeah, because he was not on the Radio Row floor. I was looking. I saw Deebo Samuel with an Eagles jersey on. Very funny. Because obviously we know the Chiefs beat them a couple times. And he said he petty. He not fucking with the Chiefs. So did y'all see the clip of Ocho getting into it with James Harrison?
That was legit.
That was real. Like Ocho was in a bad mood. That like when they were setting up, he had this look like I do not want to fucking be here. And
he looked like one of those people that don't like to be around a whole bunch of people.
Well, as you see from the video, I called this nigga's name like 10 times. This nigga was right in front of me. This nigga had a whole conversation with Ike Reese right next to me as I was asking him for
a name.
Yeah, I remember Ike Reese from the Eagles, nigga. Like that was he just looked like he was in a bad mood. Huh?
You definitely the professional one, because it was a few times I would have been pissed off. Like motherfucker, you standing right in front of me, bro. Like I
mean, I
got 1 or 2 questions for you, Jay.
like with the Brandon thing, the reason I didn't get upset about that, they had him. I think he's working with overtime. They were asking him for something, and Jameis. I will say this. I can't. I would say my Jameis comment for some such. I can't say that on here. But anyway,
Oh, you got to text that one though.
I'm gonna text you. I'm gonna tell you. I can't. I can't say that on there. But it was a dope experience, man. Opening night is like. Oh, it's like it's on steroids, bro. Like,
did you go to the media? Did you go to the media mixer?
No, I couldn't feel my legs by the time the media mixer was like right after Radio Row, like not Radio Row, right after opening night. Like it was like I think it started in the middle of opening night, like around 9 or 10, and opening night went on to about 10:30.
Tell you, boy, media mixer. Let me know how media be going. Like these events be just be. Hey man, these events just be like, yo, you gonna be there? All right, we gonna link up and then we gonna dip. I'm telling you.
I believe it. I heard a certain journalistic conference was like that too. But
yes, that is. I'd say no. I ain't even never been there, and I know. Yeah, but hey, the media mixer, yeah, fam. If I wasn't 5 years in. If I was a single man,
you'd have went to the media mixer. I would keep the media mixer on my to-do list for next year in San Francisco. I would do that. But
it's gonna be in San Francisco next year. Oh
yeah, San Francisco next year, and then we back in LA the year after that. The best part about the LA one is either this show's gonna take off, and I'm gonna have enough money where it don't matter where the fuck I live, say it, or I'm not gonna have to be in a fucking hotel to begin with. So either way, it's cool. So, but I want to get into my Radio Row stuff, man. I walked around Radio Row. Asking people about Caleb Williams. I wanted to get the national perspective on Caleb. I did see the chosen one there, aka Jaden Daniels. Mom's decent. Not gonna lie. And she's like, you can tell she's a good agent or whatever manager. She was like hawking, looking like, yo, y'all better not get within 2 feet of this nigga without coming to me first. Like you can tell, like she had it like real locked down. But I wanted to walk around and see what the perception of Caleb Williams was. So I got a couple names that you guys know who gave me their opinions on Caleb Williams. So I want to play a couple of interviews that I had at Radio Row about Caleb. Yeah, Radio Row, man. There's been a lot of opinions about Caleb Williams' rookie season. Some said he did great, some said he did bad. You know, we walked around. We got a couple perspectives from former NFL players and also very legendary, sports media personality, man. So let's check out what these three had to say about the Bears quarterback, Caleb Williams. We were with the legendary Chris Mad Dog Russo. We represent Chicago Bears. We're doing one Chicago Bears media. What do you think about Caleb Williams' rookie season? Do you think there's room for him to grow with Ben Johnson?
Yes, there is. There better be, and I think Ben took the job because he knows he's got a young quarterback. Here's the thing that's the worst thing that happened to Caleb Williams. He's not as good as Jaden Daniels. So he's going to have to live up to Daniels, who is going to be better than he is. Daniels is great. And I think that will bother a Bear fan, that the guy that was picked second is better than the guy that they picked first. But I do think he's going to be pretty good, yes.
We're here with former NFL player Gerald McCoy, Barber's Chat Network, Chicago. Can you tell us what you thought about from an NFL player perspective about Caleb Williams' rookie season? And do you think that Ben Johnson can elevate him to the next level?
Absolutely. We're in a time of instant gratification. TikTok, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts. We want to be microwaved, and we forget that it takes time for people to develop, especially at the hardest position in all of football. I think in all of sports is playing the quarterback position. Just because you're highly touted coming out of college doesn't mean you're automatically going to be what everybody says. Those are just projections. The game still has to be played. Caleb's year wasn't as bad as people made it sound. It was because of all the pressure they put on him, and when he didn't live up to it, it was like, oh, he's terrible. But then you look across the way, and you got Jaden Daniels, or you got Bo Nix, and the biggest enemy to success is comparison. When you're looking across and looking to the left and looking right, then you start to say, oh, well, he's not that man. Caleb's going to be just fine. Ben Johnson is going – they hired the right guy to get Caleb to turn this corner. With everything that he's been a winner his entire career. The guy that y'all are betting against is the same guy who didn't have a senior year, but he orchestrated plays and all of this stuff on his own as a high school player, this is the same guy y'all betting against. That's how his mind works, that I still need to get my work in even if I'm not having a season. But this is the guy y'all betting against. This is okay.
Do you think there's a chance he can get better?
No,
Jaden?
I do not. No.
It's cooked already.
I think Daniels is really good. I mean, I think Daniels has a chance to be great. And I don't know if Williams does. He can be a little chaotic. Sometimes he creates his own chaos.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
So I would say no. I don't. I think he's got a chance to be very good, but Daniels has a chance to be a Hall of Famer.
Thank you, Chris. Appreciate it. Pat, man, you used to play in NFC North a little bit. We covered the Bears, man. What's your view from like a player perspective? What you think Caleb Williams did in his rookie season?
I thought Caleb did some nice things. Had some growing pains. I feel like he's gonna have to do a better job of getting rid of the football. I thought that was something that hindered him, in the season. So I think having Ben Johnson, a quarterback-friendly coach, that's going to help him understand, the progressions and getting the ball out quicker, getting the ball out to his outlets, coming out of the backfield. I think that's just going to make him that much better because we all know that he has the athletic ability. He can throw the ball from any arm angle. Now it's just all about honing in on the little things to help him become that much better.
And that's what Chris Mad Dog Russo, Patrick Peterson, and Gerald McCoy felt about Caleb Williams. I say this to say this. I think Gerald McCoy put it the best way. He's got a lot more football in front of him. And with everything he's accomplished, it's way too early to just close the door on him, man. So that's a little bit what we got at Radio Row. We got a lot more coming. We finna get some more shit going on, man. Your boy Scott here, Barbers Chat Network. I'm not going to hold you. HMB Media, we out here. Yeah, man. Shout out Mad Dog. Shout out Gerald McCoy. Shout out Patrick Peterson, man. I got classic Bad Dog right there. When y'all get a chance, y'all should zoom in on my face when he said that Caleb will never be better than Jaden Daniels, and he was dead serious.
Oh yeah, he's dead serious. Like he had his little soup in his hand.
Yeah. Now
gonna be matter.
I'm gonna address the elephant in the room. That big ass Lambeau Field sign in the background. So they had like a setup for like the two places where the draft is going to be at. Obviously, draft is at Lambeau Field this year. It's going to be in Pittsburgh the year after. So they had like food from both cities that they were having out. And Mad Dog just happened to be over there getting
food for both cities.
So they served y'all bratwurst is what you tell me.
Right, they served bratwurst?
Yeah, it was bratwurst. It was cheese and shit. I didn't have none of it. Yeah, cheese curds, stuff like that. And then like the Packers radio people were broadcasting from that area too. So
did you see Jen Latta?
No, I did not. I saw you were talking about the different legends. I saw Marshall Faulk, and I was so close to yelling Marshall. Like,
oh, you talking about new running backs coach of the Colorado Buffaloes?
Yeah. Oh,
Marshall
he is?
Faulk? Yeah, he the new running backs
come
coach.
Out?
Yesterday,
wow.
Earlier today.
Yeah.
Or late yesterday, earlier today.
I was not on my phone. We're gonna block B-Dot for that cheese emoji. And just because B-Dot said he wanted me to interview a Packer player, I deliberately ignored Josh Jacobs when he walked down the K Adams set. And I was like, it's not gonna happen. Yeah, if you want to check out anything else, it's all gonna be in the vlog and things like that, man. But I want to switch to our next topic before Pavi comes on. Actually, before I get there, I want to ask y'all, what did y'all think about the national perspective, at least from these three dudes, about Caleb?
I'll go first because it'll be quick. It's what we expected. People don't necessarily watch the sport all the way around like that. So people, like Mad Dog are going to be like, I think Jaden's going to be great and da. Like you said, Gerald McCoy, I think, said it best. People want instant gratification. They want things now. Like the thing that's like the gift and the curse about CJ Stroud is that they want it now. They saw it, so they want it now. I'm more worried about year 2 and year 3 and growth and stuff like that. And we'll see what happens from there. But it's par for the course. It is what it is.
Yeah, I think anytime I really like to hear what players have to say. I know, we listen to a lot of the talking heads, and at the end of the day, a lot of them really are out here just to create shock value or, get a reaction out of people. But when I listen to people who've played the game and the way they talk about Caleb, even Dan Orlovsky, even though he's, was one of the few people who were saying Jaden from day one, he said that, Caleb can still be really good. And that's been the general consensus overall. The only people who have said that he's going to be trash are just really they're bad. They're not good at their job. They just go out there and just try to, get a rise out of people. They don't really be talking about shit.
Yeah, like
those type of guys. Like,
give you a real quick perfect example. Eli Manning does not make it to the Hall of Fame today.
Thank God. I was gonna throw some if he made it first ballot. I'm sorry.
Every talking head was like, "Fuck you mean? Fuck you mean? I can't believe it. Fuck you mean?" Ryan Clark on First Take today, Pastor Ryan Clark, kept that shit all the way funky to the point where folks was like, "Oh, he got a good point." Dan Orlovsky was still on his, "No, he should be a first ballot Hall of Famer." But players who played at a high level,
they know,
and went to a Super Bowl, they know. That's who I want to listen to. If one of them be like, "I don't know, nigga," then that's when I'm gonna have some little trepidation. I ain't got that yet.
Yeah, I think that, I just love getting the player perspective too, man. And it's always different. You can tell the players who do media, like you can tell Gerald McCoy has been a year or two. He gave me a real thought out, detailed answer. Y'all want to know who the superstar of Radio Row is?
Who that?
Jared Payton. Shout out our boy JP.
Yes. Oh, yes.
And Jared Payton is a superstar. Okay.
Boy, I felt when I was talking to him when I was there, boy, people was looking at me like, who is he talking to?
Yeah.
Is he like a player? Who is he? I'm like, yo, I'm with them. Like,
I low-key think I got the Patrick Peterson interview because
you probably did.
He saw me with JP.
And JP probably looked at him with the nod, like, oh no, he good, he cool. No, I want to just walk around with Jared, talk to Jared.
Yeah.
And on day 2. So then they'd be like, I bet. No, we gonna mess with him. We gonna mess with him.
Yeah, I was talking to Jared, and like my conversation got interrupted with Jared like 4 times. But it was all like this popular nigga here. But shout out to JP, man. We're gonna bring Pavi in about a couple minutes, but I kind of want to transition into this topic that I'll be bringing Pavi in too. I kind of feel like the NBA got their look back. I think the NBA got their look back this week. With the NBA trade deadline was majority of the headlines. One thing, Bang, you notice Dante used at the Super Bowl when they had it in Atlanta. You can get the pulse of what the vibe is Super Bowl week. The actual game was third out of the things that people were discussing at Super Bowl week. Number 1, I think, was the Kendrick Lamar halftime show. Whether you were a Kendrick fan or not, even saw today. Me and the kid were laughing about it. Like, people were asking the same question I asked by Kendrick. And it was just like going to different things. People were trying to figure out what's he going to perform. What show should he do that? You've seen a lot of brands asking that. But number 2 was the NBA trade deadline, the Luka trade. The Luka trade was the second biggest thing. Nobody was really talking about the game. And there was 2 people who I really wanted to talk to this week. One, when I saw Matt Nagy, me and Nikhil walking around, we was like, yo, we were just about to leave, and we saw Nagy. There we go. We waited and waited. The nigga in front of me who was interviewing, that nigga decided I want to have a whole little 8-minute interview. Like I almost got real ethnic up in there a couple times, but I held it back. And then my man Stugotz from Dan Le Batard, I told Nikhil 3 times, yo, we gonna keep walking around here until I run into my man Stugotz. I got one specific Stugotz question for him because I'm a big fan of the show. He gonna know I'm a fan of the show by this question. So I want to play this very, very quick interview I had with Stugotz with the one question that we all want to know involving this Luka Doncic Lakers trade. Legendary Stugotz, man, from Dan Le Batard Show, God Bless Football. I have a question for you about your special record books. With Luka now being a Laker, does this championship count if he wins any there?
If Luka wins a championship in LA, coming off the finals in Dallas, I have to talk these things out. That's the way I do it. Are you asking me if Luka, if he wins a championship, will I give him a championship in my personal record book? Yes, the answer is yes. Yes. Because LeBron won a championship in LA, but it wasn't a real championship. It was a bubble championship, okay? They won it in a bubble. You have to go on the road. You have to do it in front of fans. The Lakers didn't do that. So if Luka can come in, get LeBron a 5th NBA title, do it with fans actually watching the game, then yes, I will give Luka a title in my personal record book. Yes.
Appreciate you, Stu.
Well, you got that's it. That's all
Yeah,
we got.
that's it. Yeah. Shout out, my man Stu, guys, man. That was as a big fan of the show and a big fan of his. That was
Scott,
a cool
can
moment.
you play that again? I think I missed something.
Yeah. Play it again, Nikhil.
Play it again.
Legendary Stu, guys, man, from Dan Le Batard Show. God bless
I wanna
football.
make sure I
have a
say
question for
something.
you about your special record books. With Luka now being a Laker, does this championship count if he wins anything? I know what you're
If
looking
Luka
for.
wins a championship in
Well,
LA,
make sure I
coming
just
off the
wanna make sure
finals
I
in
saw what I
Dallas, I
saw.
have to talk these things out. That's the way I do it. Are you asking me if Luka, if he wins a championship, will I give him a championship in
You
my
can stop.
personal record book? Yes, the answer.
That's crazy.
And the funny thing is, I obviously, since I was shooting it, I didn't see it. But then I saw people with comments like, "Yo, look behind you." I was like, "What are you talking about?" He said, "Bang, I see the vision." Yeah, man. But that was just fun thing to do, man, because I'm a fan of the show, and it was just cool to talk about that, man. But do y'all think that the NBA, kind of got their lick back a little bit?
Yes. No, But I mean, look what they had to do to get it.
Yeah.
It was the most shocking trade in NBA history. What they had to do it. Yes, they got their lick back. I mean, don't nobody care too much about the Super Bowl until like we get to this point. Yeah, so they caught them at the right time.
Yeah, no, they definitely got their leg back. And also, you got to think it's one of those situations where we've been talking about for years about how the NBA is going global. And now you have one of your biggest global stars attached to your top brand in the league. So I think, as much as we have been complaining about the game here in America, this is something that's definitely great for the league. And Adam Silver, being head ass, is probably really smiling about this because he now has, again, one of his top international stars in his top market. So I think they definitely got their leg back. Now it's just a matter of the product on the court. Because, and we can get into this later, but I think the biggest thing for me is we still talking about KD, Bron, and Steph when you got teams like OKC is the 1 seed, the Rockets are the 2 seed, Memphis is the 3 seed. So your young teams are actually performing, and we don't even talk about them. So, it's one of those things where that's just the way the game is right now. But, I think so. Like this week, they definitely, got a little bit of that old energy, but like you said, it took one of the, most shocking trades in NBA history for that to happen.
And Dante, you hit the nail on the head, man. This is the issue I think the NBA has. Like you said, Bang, he had to take, in my opinion, the most shocking trade. And not just NBA history. I damn near want to say sports history. It's been almost a week, and I still don't understand the Mavericks motive. I don't get it at all. Y'all can sit up here and we waiting for Pavi. This nigga's parking his car. We're waiting for Pavi to come on. But you can look at it from all these different angles. I think Ryan Russillo said it best that he wouldn't care if Luka was walking up the court smoking a cigarette. I want to say even better. I don't care if Luka was coming up the court smoking crack. I'm not trading him for anybody. He's 25 years old. Got a team that had no business being in the NBA Finals to the NBA Finals last year. Got a team that had no business being in the West Conference Finals 2 years before that in the West Conference Finals. And that just shows you what it is. And I got a theory on how this involves LeBron as soon as we get Pavi on here because I want to, get his opinion on that. But I will say this. It took probably the most shocking trade of all time to happen. And then here's the gift and the curse for the NBA. Yeah, we talk about it, but I feel like the offseason or off the court news is more important or holds more weight than the actual play on the court does. And that to me is an issue with what you're going for. Dante, you just said it. OKC, best team in the Western Conference. The Cavs, they're the best team in basketball. You got the Mavericks, but the Rockets and the Grizzlies, they're all killing. And we still talking about these three old niggas here in Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, and LeBron James. That's the problem that we have here. You got to move on. And I feel like that's going to be something that might hinder them going forward. I really am interested to see how they're going to transition once this happens, because I believe he hasn't said it yet. I believe that LeBron James' last season is going to be next year. I think he's going to announce it sometime this off season or going into the beginning of the season. Might even be a media day announcement. I think that's what's going to be it. And now we got Pappy in. We're going to bring Pappy in here now. Let me see.
My man, how y'all feeling?
Pat, what's going on, bro?
I'm chilling,
you
bro.
in
I can't
traffic,
complain.
nigga?
Yeah. I'm outside.
Nigga
But
got the shirt buttoned up. I know he outside. This nigga
outside.
enjoying himself. But yeah, man, we were just talking about the trade deadline. I said that I kind of feel like the NBA got their look back this week towards the NFL for the NFL taking over a lot of the Christmas conversation. You know, the talk around the Super Bowl, I feel like the game was number 3. I was telling Bane this, I was telling Dante this. The main talk was the Kendrick performance, and damn, nigga, Luka got traded to the Lakers. Like, that was the 2 main conversations.
I'm not gonna lie to you. If you weren't down there covering the Super Bowl, I literally wouldn't have seen any Super Bowl content this week. Like, you would have thought the Super Bowl was like literally the only reason I know is because you were there, and I'm obviously my man, so I'm looking at what you're doing. But like, other than that, I genuinely would not have known. Like, the Super Bowl definitely. I think now it's picking up, and I think towards the weekend, you know, it'll like Friday, Saturday. I think it'll pick up more. But this week, like literally, even on every like, granted, not like I watch a whole bunch of sports media, but even on when I did catch it, it's still the Super Bowl wasn't what anybody was talking about.
Yeah,
and you know the Chiefs going for 3. It was the trade deadline. Where is Jimmy going? Luka's with the Lakers, AD's with the Mavericks. That was the main talk of the town, and not the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and that's how I felt down there. Like, there was even this video, and Nikhil will know because Nikhil was up there. I think it was Sports Illustrated was going around, and they made a fake trade about LeBron being traded to the Warriors, and they were asking different Eagles and Chiefs players, and everybody was like, "For real?" And they checking their phones, like, "No, you capping, bro. Ain't no way that happened." Like, that's just how much it was talking about that. But the spectacle of the Super Bowl is why it's still the Super Bowl. Obviously, it's the biggest event of the year. It was just crazy being there and seeing all these people from all different forms of entertainment there for that week. But let's talk about this Luka trade. I know y'all been talking about it a lot on Hoops and Brews. I'm still confused by it. Like, I don't not from the Lakers perspective. I get it from the Lakers perspective, 100%. But from the Mavericks, I just don't understand the motive for this move. We might not know now. This might not be something that comes out to the offseason or 6 months from now, maybe even years from now. I believe something personal happened between Luka, Nico Harrison, and some other people in the Mavs management, because everything they're saying to me just doesn't make sense. I don't buy the weight thing. I don't buy that they just didn't want to pay him thing. I don't buy none of that. To me, something personal had to have happened. And especially you only shop him to the Lakers. It was a little weird. Pav, it's been almost a week since that. What has your opinion on it changed? What you thinking about this trade almost?
I mean, I buy everything he said. Like, I mean, to me, number one, I'm somebody who, I've said this many times, I don't know if Luka's body, if he continues to go the way he's going, is going to last 10 years. I genuinely don't know if his body will last 10 years. Number one, he's been what we forget. He's been a pro since he was 16 years old. And if you go back to the bubble and look at the way Luka looked in the bubble and look at the way Luka looks now, that looks like 2 different human beings. So I don't know if his body is going to last 10 years. Also, I hate the fact that, granted, I know Luka is Luka. I know Luka is incredible. He's great, giving you 30, 10, and 10 on any given night. But we can't act like they traded for Cleveland Cavaliers, Sean Kemp. Like, they traded for Anthony Davis, bro. Like, Luka is a top 5 player, but AD's a top 10 player. So it's not like they got like a bad player in return for Luka Doncic. So I mean, and I mean, it like everything the Mavericks lost in offense. I think you did lose a lot in playmaking, but you gained a lot in defense. Like, Wemby's probably going to be the defensive player of the year, but AD might be second. AD's been running up for mad years in defensive player of the year. So it's like, granted, yes, you did lose Luka Doncic, who's great. But at the same time, like, I get their concerns, and also with the second apron, right? Like, this is the new cap restraints. You have to think twice before you pay people, because when you pay people these things now, it makes roster building and team building very, 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 very hard. So I actually do buy what he says, what he said. He's going to catch hell for it, especially if the Mavericks, don't win. He's going to catch hell for it. If they win, he'll look like, I don't know, Nostradamus. if they win. But if they don't win, he's gonna catch hell for it. So I actually do buy what he says, but we'll see. Only time will tell.
Yeah, I hear the time will tell. I just don't buy it. Like I get all the Luka complaints. I just don't buy it. Like I hear apron, all the other stuff.
You got Anthony Davis though.
Yeah, Anthony Davis ain't Luka, and I think Anthony Davis has been hooping this year. He's so
what are we doing?
But he ain't been. But it's not Luka, nigga. Like that's why I just can't. I can't do it.
But I think y'all care more about y'all overrate. Not say overrate because it's a bad word, but y'all overrate Luka. You act like he's Michael Jordan. He's not Michael Jordan.
He's not Michael Jordan. He's Slovenian Michael Jordan.
So what are we doing?
Yeah, no,
Michael Jordan.
You're right.
You didn't even trade 2009 Bron.
Go ahead, Dante.
Yeah, no, I think one of the biggest issues is, we talk about how like bad nicknames can stick. Like ever since they called him street clothes, a lot of people like have hung that on Anthony Davis. And the truth is, AD has been more available than Luka over these past couple of years. That's just, the way it's been. Like I think he's missed at least 8 to 10 less games than AD. And, even over the past couple of years when AD has been hurt, it's been little nicks here and there. He's been pretty available for the Lakers. And I mean, it's still, like you said, this is a team that was the 5th seed. And AD, we know, like you said, Wemby's going to win Defensive Player of the Year, but AD has been his usual dominant self on defense. He's been one of the few bright spots for the Lakers on defense. So, I mean, if you're looking at Dallas in terms of a win now thing, and I know I saw the article about Nico trying to get all of his Nike guys down there, and he just wasn't a fan of Luka from the moment he got there, which is insane to me, just off the strength that you have somebody who's 25 years old, and we talk about how the league is going. But in terms of winning now, I think Dallas is still in a pretty good position. Now, the fan base may be pissed off. The fan base may be upset, but when you bring in an AD and then now AD doesn't have to play the 5, which he didn't want to do, like I think this opens up a lot for that team. So I think, it's a thing where it's the shock value is there, but in terms of a win now, I think Dallas comes out better than the Lakers.
Facts. I'm with you.
Bang, what's your take on all this?
From a win now perspective, yeah, this is Dallas, but win now, they ain't gonna win now. Like that's just
exactly
like
right.
I get it. Like I get it. But I just don't see it for this team. I think teams are stronger. Maybe next year. I think with AD on the team for a training camp, a full year, we're working with Kyrie and getting that front court together because there's gonna be a lot of adjustment there. Maybe that's the case. For the Lakers, oh no. I'm not willing to say right now that long term this is going to be better for the Lakers. Not because of this whole Luka working out body thing, because if Luka can do what he did with that Dallas team, the years that he took them to the conference finals and last year in the damn finals without training and saying his prayers and taking his vitamins like he Hulk Hogan. If he can do that, I'm good. I'm straight. I just wonder if the Lakers and Rob Pelinka are going to put together a squad that's a championship squad. A playoff squad, yeah. A championship squad, totally different. I think both of these teams are playoff teams, mid to lower level playoff teams. I don't think they're championship level teams. So if you want a team that's going to consistently fill up the stadium and give you a chance or make you believe there's a chance to do something more, go right ahead.
I for the Lakers, bro, who cares? Like right. you got Luka Doncic, bro. Like, that's bro, it. we were in a position where when Bron retired in 2 years, I've been on record saying the Lakers are going to be terrible for a decade.
Yeah,
you got Luka Doncic, bro. You are gonna feel. Did you hear his Spanish? Did you hear Luka's Spanish?
Yes,
he speaks Spanish better than he speaks English. You're good. Who cares? Who cares if you're the 4th seed every year? You're gonna make the second round. You're gonna sell mad Luka jerseys, and we're going to the games.
That's it.
Here's the thing too, from the Laker perspective, Pat. This is the take I wanted to bring to you. And I just thought about it this afternoon. I think this is going to be, if they can build the right team. I really don't know what I feel about this team as is. I know they added Mark Williams to the roster, who's, I guess you want to say kind of like a Robert Williams light, I guess.
Yeah, he playing Charlotte game. We don't know.
I mean, like, I'm going off. I'm going off.
Keep it.
Yeah,
no,
it was a lot of strong opinions about bro, and I'm like, I know y'all
niggas
don't
know,
watch
bro. We don't like
G. Y'all do not watch Charlotte.
I watch a lot of basketball. I've never seen Mark Williams play.
Let me just say this. I'm going off the scouting, what people were saying. Bang, what did I put in the group chat when Mikey sent that? I put, I'm not going to hold y'all. I don't know who the fuck this is.
Fuck that is.
I'm not going to lie. Like, G, I'm not going to lie. I went to 2K and like looked at his rating. 83, I bet. Like, I've never seen bro hoop. I'm not watching Hornets games. I never seen bro hoop before.
And then you saw niggas posting like, oh man, he had all these games, but he had 30 points and 10
when
rebounds.
Did this happen?
You don't get the fuck out of here.
When the fuck this happened? Gee, they lost to the Wizards twice this year. I'm not watching them. That's not real basketball.
That's nasty. And also, when you're on a bum squad, you put up a lot of empty calorie numbers, bro.
Yeah, like,
And so this is what I'm saying. If they can, because the two things, I'm not saying that Luka won't re-sign with the Lakers, but the nigga only has one more year left in this deal. And he's already screwed out of the max money. So it wouldn't shock me if he's like, I'm at least play the field. I'm not saying that. Nothing would shock me if they gave him, if he got an extension this summer, and it also wouldn't shock me. He says, you know what? They screwed me out of what? Extra 60, 70.
100 million. So in LA, that's like,
extra,
so.
Yeah.
Ooh. So and yeah. So in California, and also he wasn't paying California taxes. Ooh.
Yeah. See, Ohtani's smart. Ohtani deferred all his money to after he get retired. So that he gonna deal with whatever Japanese taxes they got. So but let's just say if he signs an extension, because I do think that's a big if right now. He might play a year or two and be like, you know what? I'm kind of straight. You know what I'm saying? He's from Slovenia. I don't think he cares about
when the Lakers fans start calling him fat ass. Lakers fans start calling him fat ass.
Pat, I'm glad you said that. Laker fans are also unforgiving. I keep telling y'all, they don't really like this nigga Bron. You be thinking I'm lying when they don't really like this nigga Bron.
They don't.
They just deal with it. He like your family member you just deal with. That's what LeBron is to Laker fans. But if they can build an actual squad around him, I think that this can phase him into his late Kareem stage, where you got a younger nigga who comes in and helps you lead to a championship or something like that. And, LeBron can get him a title that, he wasn't the main reason for it, but it still counts. That's if Pelinka can put together a good team, and we'll see how that goes. I don't know what they're going to do this year. I think people were saying championship. I think he's doing too much. I don't know. I got to see him. We only got, 28-something games left. Luka's supposed to come back on Monday. Even when he does, I want to see how him and Bron mesh. I just think there's so many other teams better. The Thunder were already better. They get Chet back. Chet got off his injury a couple days ago. He's gonna be back. Houston's playing really well.
You're not about to tell me Houston better than the Lakers, G.
I didn't say that they were better than Lakers.
I'm not going. I'm not saying
you're
not about to tell me Amen Thompson and Jalen Green better than Luka Doncic. I think we can't just throw them in there just because they got star power. Is what I'm saying. I agree with you on that, but you said Houston. Name somebody else.
I'm naming teams who are having good seasons. I ain't saying it's gonna beat anybody. And then out east, I still think Boston repeating. I don't care what they've been doing. They're doing the full championship team coast to the regular season type deal. I don't buy Cleveland, but I think if anything, when you have LeBron James, Luka Doncic, you give yourself a fighting chance. And I think that's something that's good. As far as the Mavericks, yeah, Anthony Davis is great. And I think that his injuries the last two seasons have been overblown more than him actually missing time. So I think if healthy, that could be a good team. I just don't see them beating anybody of substance either. So, but let's talk about the other trade that happened. The second biggest trade that happened this week, Jimmy Butler. And I'm going to say this as a day one Jimbo Buckets fan. Y'all know me. I've been a fan of Jimmy since he had the crappy haircut and he had that, that pickup truck in Chicago when he was D Rose and Joakim Noah's rookie. Jimmy got a lot of nerve, man. Now, Jimmy is one of the few niggas who fail up all the time. He failed up into a contract that gives him $60 million for a year for the next 2 years. He just decided not to play basketball. People who saying, "Oh, Jimmy can't do this, Jimmy can't do that." It's not that Jimmy can't play. Jimmy don't care. When Jimmy don't care, that's just an issue.
Jimmy got sold. Jimmy got sold.
But I don't. To me, it's whatever with this trade. I tweeted that this trade is like when the lights come off of the club and the Warriors just pointed at the first girl they found. That's what this is to me. Pat, we know you got roll in a minute, but what you think about this trade, and if there's anything else that stood out to you in this trade deadline?
I mean, it's cool. Shout out Jimmy, bro. I mean, honestly, bro, I want to look at this trade from the Miami Heat standpoint. I think you get Wiggins. You know, you put him with Spoelstra. Like, you know, I've been a big Wiggins guy since he first came into the league. But you also got Davion Mitchell. You got Kyle Anderson. You got a pick out of them as well. Like, I think the Heat, like, you roll that in and you get back to, you know, kind of a defensive first philosophy. You got an all-star in Tyler Hero. You still have Bam, like, and you take pressure off Bam as well now because you have, I think, Ware, I forget his first name, but Ware can actually be a legitimate starting center. So you can, like, take Bam, who's like 6'8", 6'9", and really put him at the 4, which is probably where he should be. He can't shoot, but still put him at the 4. I like what Miami got from this deal. For the Warriors, I mean, you owe it to Steph to try, bro.
You're right, yeah.
Like, you owe it to Steph to try it. So you can bring in another guy who's been an all-star. He may be a Hall of Famer. Like, you owe it to Steph to at least try. As far as system-wise, I mean, he can get a bucket. He can still guard, but the spacing is going to be terrible. You got Jimmy and Draymond. Well, maybe Jimmy could shoot better than what we all think he can shoot. I don't know. But you know what I'm saying? The spacing is probably going to be terrible. But, again, you owe it to him to try. And as far as what else took out this trade deadline, pray for Chris Middleton. And pray for Marcus Smart. They shipped him to the Shadow Realm. But I like Kyle Kuzma with the Bucks. I think that Kuzma, even though he's been playing fake basketball the past couple of years in Milwaukee, I do think that he's better than what Middleton is right now. So I do like that deal. And also, I like what the Raptors did with getting Brandon Ingram. You know, I know people say, aren't the Raptors tanking? I swear to God, Brandon Ingram is not going to stop them from tanking at all. But I like the lineup that they have now. You go in, you'll still probably get a top, let's say, 7 pick, and you have Quickly, RJ, Ingram, Scotty Barnes, and Jakob Poeltl. I like that starting 5 for them, especially in Toronto, because it's not like, even though Toronto is a great city, it's not a real free agent destination, so you don't really get free agents.
Because it's not America.
Facts. It's not America. Even though Toronto, I love Toronto, great city. But like you don't really get free agents, so you had to do something when you have a guy like Bi who is an all-star, can't get 20 points. You got to do that. So I think the main thing that stood out to me was the Bi deal, and I rock with the Bucks getting Kuzma.
All right, Pat. We know you got to roll, man. We will holler at you. Final, real quick. Who you got in the Super Bowl? You hear me or you left? Pat, can you hear me? Yeah, I think that nigga left. Anyway, he had to roll. But yeah, man, we're gonna finish this real quick, and then we go into our actual Super Bowl talk. Here's my thoughts on a couple of these others. I think Pat just hit the nail on the head on Jimmy Butler thing. Like, you owe it to Steph to at least try. I think that Jimmy's gonna play well because Jimmy is a funny nigga. When Jimmy cares, he hoops. When Jimmy doesn't care, he does this. I said this on the show last Friday about too much player empowerment. He hustled himself into getting a contract he had no business of getting. Now, what we do know, this trade only happened because Kevin Durant told the Warriors, "Nah, nigga, no, I'm not answering your hey big head text." Because there was an actual trade that was agreed to in principle. It was going to be a 5-team trade that was going to send Jimmy to Phoenix and was going to send KD back to the Warriors. But Steph got on the phone with KD, and he got the sense that KD did not want to be there. And because they won championships together, the ownership respected it and didn't force the trade. Because unlike Bradley Beal, which shout out to Bradley Beal's agent, Kevin Durant doesn't have a no-trade clause. But since the Warriors respected his decision, they went and go ahead and got Jimmy. That's whatever. I think it'll be enough to get them into a better play-in seed. And if they win, they can win a play-in game because they've got those 2 vets. I think it'll make Steph's job a lot easier. But it is what it is. The Kevin Durant thing would excite me a lot more than this. I love De'Aaron Fox in San Antonio. you've got a running partner, running mate now with Wemby, which is awesome. You have a guy like that, and now you got a point guard. And I really love that they were able to get somebody for him this early in the game and still keep some of the young pieces. And as far as Kuz, like, you know, I think Pappy said he's been playing fake basketball out there in Washington because that's the nice watch. I think he's going to be a great addition to this Bucks team, man. Before we move on to football, any other things about the trade deadline that stood out to y'all? I'm going to go to Dante first.
The Jimmy Butler shit is crazy. I think, like you said, we talked about the player empowerment and, you know, guys who aren't in that bracket. I really feel like only LeBron, Steph, KD, there's only like 4 or 5 people that should really be able to go to a front office and say, hey, get me out of here. And I know we see, you know, the player podcast where everybody's like, oh, man, you just got to do it. If you don't want to be there, get them out of there. No, it don't work like that. And I think players are starting to finally learn that. And I think this Jimmy Butler situation is going to be one of the turning points, like Kevin Garnett said, to where you have the owners are going to take a step back and say, wait a minute, we've let this go too far. And so, you know, as for the Warriors, bro, it's one of those situations where you were trying, you tried to get a lot of guys, you tried to bring back KD, and it's one of those situations where now you really see that all those off seasons where you wouldn't move Kuminga, when you had all these guys that were untouchable, when you bring back Draymond, you pick Draymond over Jordan Poole, those moves have backfired. And now you're at a point where it's like you have Steph, who's one of the greatest to do it, and you're wasting his time, really, when you think about it. Like, Steph is just collecting personal accolades. But in terms of an actual championship team, and it's crazy to say this when they're a few years removed from winning one, but it's like, no, now we're officially wasting time. And so I'm interested to see what they do in this offseason because Jimmy's cool. I don't know about giving Jimmy $121 million, you know, given his injury history and everything, but and Jimmy also wears a man weave. So, like, that's something we also have to address. That's a very serious problem for me. But I think we know Steph's loyalty will not allow him to demand a trade. I think this is one guy, he's going to retire a Warrior, as he should. So it's really just unfortunate, and you want to see what that front office can do. And I really tip my cap to Bob Myers because, like, you know, maybe Bob was a lot smarter than people were giving him credit for.
Yeah, definitely. Shout out to Bob Myers. Go ahead, Bang.
Jimmy's a white man in the black man's body. That's all I got. He fails up. This shit. When you said that shit, I was like, oh, we on the same page here. Jimmy Butler fails up. I have never seen a basketball player that can do all of the shit that this man does and fails up. And it's not going to do anything for the Golden State Warriors. In fact, you might see Draymond Green fight that man. And I'm not saying this.
Yeah, I tweeted that. I like, who gonna call who a bitch first? Draymond.
Because the thing is Chris Paul going into that organization. Chris Paul is one of those people that he get on your nerves, but when he on your team, he rocking with you. That's not Jimmy Butler. If Jimmy don't get his way, he pulled that bullshit. I do not think for 1 second that Steph Curry and Draymond Green is for that shit. Draymond Green has his hand and he has his right hand in his pocket and his left hand behind his back. And I tell you, if Jimmy Butler try to play Jimmy Butler games, the tape will not get out this time.
The tape will not get out. I 100% agree with that, man. I'm really interested to see how this is going to play out, man. We're going to take a quick break. On the other side, we're going to get into Super Bowl talk. We're going to talk about the NFL honors. Is Josh Allen the DEI MVP? We're going to talk about that, talk about everything that went on at the NFL honors. Then we're going to talk about Kendrick Lamar. I got my set predictions. I'm interested to see what Bang and Dante think. Then we're going to talk about the actual game. Who's going to win, why they're going to win. So we're going to take a quick 1 minute break. We'll be right back. I'm not going to hold you. Your boy Sky here. See the Superdome for Eagles, Chiefs. What's your favorite Kendrick Lamar song he's performing at halftime?
I don't really listen to Kendrick Lamar.
We are here at Radio Row, man. We're here with the legendary Stu guys. We're here with the legendary Chris Mad Dog Russo. We're here with former NFL player Gerald McCoy, Matt Forte. We're here with the one and only Tom Pelissero here at NFL opening night for the Super Bowl. Tom, how you feeling?
Yeah, you can definitely see some flashes of what Caleb does.
Chance for 1 second. Can't right now. Okay. Hey, Brandon. Bears fans, we're here with the one and only DJ Moore.
It's amazing, the staff that they're putting together.
Ocho, you got one? Ocho, got one question. Ocho, you got time? Hey, Ocho. We gonna break it down for y'all. Let's go. Scott at the Super Bowl debuts tomorrow on Barbershop Network and HB Media TV. Check that out on there, man. Did y'all see the professional microphone that we had there? With the logo? We look clean out here in these Super Bowl streets, man. But let's talk about last night's NFL honors, which went down in New Orleans, man, which is the NFL's award show. We find out who won all the different awards for the season. This year was hosted by Snoop. I saw a tweet yesterday. It said, company comes to Snoop, says, Snoop, we have this idea. And Snoop says, I'm in. You ain't seen this nigga say no to nothing. And from the stuff that he was saying yesterday, I was like, yeah, he just really wanted this check. It was just, I think all award shows to a point are cringeworthy when it comes to reading stuff off the teleprompter. And I don't know who was running the teleprompter yesterday. They were super slow. Justin Jefferson's whole little thing got messed up. Everybody who was reading it looked like they had never been in school before. So I'm going to blame the actual people who were running the teleprompter more than that. But just a little recap of the actual awards before we get to the MVP. We had the Deacon Jones Award, which is, the person who leads the league in sacks. Trey Hendrickson won. Ground Player of the Year went to Jamar Chase. Air Player of the Year went to Josh Allen. Rookie of the Year went to Mr. Jaden Daniels. Offensive Rookie of the Year went to Jaden Daniels. Assistant Coach of the Year is our head coach, Mr. Ben Johnson. George Kittle won the Salute to Service Award. Jaden Daniels won the NFL Player Award. Josh Allen won the Art Rooney Award. Joe Burrow was Comeback Player of the Year, as he said that he didn't want to win that award anymore. Defensive Rookie of the Year was the Rams' Jared Verse. Offensive Player of the Year. Now, this is why I knew that Lamar Jackson wasn't going to win MVP. This gave it up to me. That and the fact that he wasn't there told me everything we need to know about that. Offensive Player of the Year was Saquon Barkley. Mr. Saquon Barkley. Defensive Player of the Year, Patrick Surtain II. They called him Patrick Surtain III, and they put Myles Garrett on the screen when he came up there. He won Defensive Player of the Year. Coach of the Year, Kevin O'Connell. And the Walter Payton Man of the Year Award, shout out our man JP, Eric Armstead from the Jacksonville Jaguars. And the MVP went to Mr. Josh Allen. Before I give my thoughts, I want to get y'all's. I'm going to go to Dante first, since he is our resident Josh Allen hater. What did you think about this decision?
Yes, Caucasian Cam Newton was 100% the DEI MVP. That was absolute bullshit, bro. Like, how do you not lead in any statistical categories and you are the most valuable? I understand people talk about what he meant to the Buffalo Bills, but you, myself, JR, we have all sat here and watched Derrick Henry rush for 1,200 yards on a horrible fucking football team. So please don't suddenly try to tell me that because he was on this offense that, oh my God, Lamar has so much help. Stop. Just cut the shit. Like, Derrick, a lot of those holes were opening up because you have to always worry about Lamar Jackson and his ability to run the ball, which he didn't even do that much this year compared to what he usually does. But Josh Allen, it's bad because you never want to be the guy to have to shit on somebody. But it's one of those situations where it's like, nah, bro. When they started tweeting stuff about him, arm punts and silly shit like that, it's like, okay, yeah, they're really just trying to give this man this award. And so, bro, for me, I think that's one of those things where that needs to be reevaluated. And also, comeback player of the year. Stop giving Joe fucking Burrow comeback player of the year like he's an average player or something. Like, he gets hurt and comes back and continues to be Joe Burrow. Like, that's that. He's not a comeback player. You don't have to keep doing that. That's just dumb. But other than that, yeah, also, certain people, you just start getting your vote taken away. Jim Miller, I don't know why the fuck he has a vote, but Jim Miller, he put.
By the way, is this Chicago Bears Jim Miller, or is this a different Jim Miller? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
he had him fourth.
Well,
he's egregious, bro.
Yeah,
you gotta go. But I mean, it's just a popularity contest at this point. And like when people talk about narratives and voter fatigue, it's like, what the fuck are you voting for then? If you fatigued, like watch the games and vote for the person who should win. It shouldn't be any narrative or anything about, oh, I'm just tired of voting for this person.
I get that, but we also know how this in every league. If we going off who the best every year, Michael Jordan will have more than 5. LeBron will have more than 4. And also, if that was the case, Shea shouldn't win MVP this year because Jokic is putting up Wilt numbers. You know what I'm saying? And we know it's going to go to Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. So that's why, to me, I get the voter fatigue part. For me, it's like this. I don't have a problem with Josh Allen winning. I think that he said DeMar Hamlin. I know that sounds like a joke, but no, obviously, no. DeMar Hamlin should have won comeback player of the year. Like when they gave it to that nigga last year, just because he lived, I was like, no. This year, yeah, he should have won. I think we got to pick. If you didn't do anything like when your career fell off, or you just had a bad year, you shouldn't be eligible for comeback player of the year. It's like when the NBA gives best improved player to somebody who's already an all-star. Like, what are we doing? But I'm not gonna sit up here and act like Josh Allen isn't deserving of the award. I do feel like if I would have had a vote, I would have given it to Lamar Jackson. Lamar had his best, stats of his career, but Josh did pretty well too. But I do believe it was voter fatigue. But we all know MVP in sports, it's about politics. Major League Baseball is literally the only league that gives you MVP strictly all stats. And you could have not made the playoffs, and they would give that MVP to Mike Trout. Every other league, there's he won too much, Oh, well, let's look what Karl Malone did this year. We're not going to give it to Michael Jordan this year, and things like that. And so that's just really part of it to me. I understand the outrage. I get it. I feel bad for Josh that he's being compared to that Joel Embiid award, the Joel Embiid MVP that he got a couple years ago. People calling it sympathy MVPs. I do believe he's deserving of it, but it's just unfortunate that, we have to downplay Lamar's year. And that's just how people vote one way or another. But when you look at the voting, and I'm glad they put that out, because if you're going to feel confident enough about voting, you should put your name on what you're actually voting. And people were having Lamar being 3rd or 4th or whatever. In my opinion, I don't think either one of these niggas should have been MVP. If I had a vote, it would have went to Saquon Barkley. But then that's another problem with the MVP. But they just think this is a quarterback award. It should have went to Saquon. Bang, what do you feel about this?
Well, you said it. If this is really true MVP award, that MVP award should have went to Saquon Barkley. But it's not. So yes, Josh Allen was a DEI MVP, and I ain't mad at saying it. But Josh Allen ain't the only DEI MVP. So it's just a long list down the line because this award has become a quarterback-driven award. And I hate the term voter fatigue because I hate to say it, but voter fatigue is why we probably dealing with the shit that we're dealing with right now. Like, how the fuck you – here's my biggest problem. And put everybody on the screen because I want to see y'all face when I say this. What I hate anytime I look at TV, anytime I hear somebody talk about all of this shit is niggas talk about the 2025 award, but talk about 23, 22, 21, what you did that year. You're talking about the playoffs and why Josh Allen might have gotten it because of playoffs and other years. No, nigga, this is the 2024-2025 MVP award, not 2022, not 2023. This is this year's award. If you are a voter and you are looking at the MVP award and saying, hey, man, them playoffs, this ain't that. If you're looking at this MVP award and saying, hey, man, Lamar got it in 2020, whatever. So this is what this is not for. That's the problem with voting at this point. You're voting not on the year. You're voting on intangibles and other shit. Josh Allen is not the MVP of the NFL this year. He's the MVP that you want to have because you're tired of giving it to a nigga. That's it. And I really want people to just say that instead of just saying, oh man, Josh Allen is deserving. You know what? I'm deserving of having Holly Berry. I've done enough of my life to where I deserve to go on a date with Holly Berry. It could be at a coffee shop. It could be at a 5-star restaurant. I deserve it. But guess what, y'all? In life, we don't always get what we deserve.
Was that the iconic Snoop Pearson? Deserve ain't got nothing to do with it.
Yeah, ain't got nothing to do with it. That's my issue when it comes to these awards. People yelling all day talking about some Eli Manning he deserves to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. How? He deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, just not yet. I am tired of people bitching about deserving something. Because if that was the case, if we really gave it to who really deserve it, Saquon Barkley is the MVP. No, you gave it to who you wanted to give it to because of narrative. None of them niggas is the MVP. It's Saquon. End of story.
I mean, yeah, and that just goes back to how they voted. And do you think it's to circle back? So you think it's more of we just don't want this nigga to win it, because if it was just about best player, we give it a Pat every year.
Yeah. And Pat don't even deserve it this year.
No, he doesn't.
Saquon is the MVP.
Yeah.
Point blank, we're giving it to Josh Allen because you like, man, Pat got an MVP. Lamar got an MVP. Man, that Josh Allen, he does all the right things. Like he's good. And man, he's up in there with Buffalo, and he's doing all of the right things.
I hate do all the right things. Just call me a nigga. Like that's how I feel when I do the right things. Yeah.
He's doing everything right. Let's give it to him. You know who doing everything right too? Saquon.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, not only did Saquon do it right, the fucking GM of the goddamn Giants tossed him to the side like he won nothing. Yep. Just off that alone, Saquon Barkley, for the fact that he wanted to stay with the Giants, and the Giants was like, oh, no. And he had the season what he had, 100 yards away from breaking Eric Dickerson's record. That's your MVP. And what's crazy is this. If this was 1989, Saquon Barkley would be the MVP. If this was 1993, Saquon Barkley would be the MVP. If this was 1998, Saquon would be the MVP. There's a number of years in the history of the NFL that Saquon Barkley will be the MVP of. But because we've turned this shit into a quarterback-driven award, he gets Offensive Player of the Year.
Yes,
bullshit. Back in my day, you won MVP. Yeah, hey, back in my day, you won MVP. And guess what? You probably won Offensive Player of the Year too. If you was a defensive player, you won MVP and you won Defensive Player of the Year too. Because how the fuck can you win MVP but not get the other ones?
Yeah.
Don't make no damn sense.
And on top of that, Josh Allen was a second team All-Pro.
Right.
I've never heard of a second team All-Pro win MVP.
How you not getting first team how you get a first team All-Pro and not get MVP?
You know what this is like, bro? This is like when Marc Gasol won Defensive Player of the Year over LeBron a couple years ago, and he wasn't even on the all defensive first team.
That shows. It's like, man, we gonna give it to him, but we gonna give Lamar this.
We don't need LeBron to have too many accolades, nigga. We as a Michael Jordan truth, I had no problem with that, but that's definitely part of it, man. Yeah, and saying all to say this, congratulations, Josh Allen. Even though he just stood on your shit. You shit on your whip last 15 years. Hey, he get to go home to Haley Stanfield. Fuck
That's
him.
what I congratulate him on. That's the only trophy I'm congratulating him on. That right there. MVP, man, I know he looked at that trophy and was like,
So you do so that's the hit nigga damn MVP. There we go.
Bingo.
Hit nigga damn.
Hit nigga damn. This ain't even a DEI award. This hit nigga damn.
The hit nigga damn MVP. And that's
well, no, you know what? No. This is not the hit nigga damn award because he didn't ask for this. He didn't ask for this.
Okay.
Like hit nigga damn is like you just like I need it.
They did the Scott to Lamar. That's hilarious. Let's move on, man. Kendrick Lamar. I had the opportunity to be the privilege to be at his press conference yesterday. Now I was there. I rewatched the press conference later just to see like from a production standpoint or a broadcast standpoint how it came out. When I was there, I felt like shout out to Nadeska, shout out to Ebro from Apple Music. I think they asked some pretty solid questions from what was obviously vetted, which I have no problem with artists vetting questions, especially with an event as big as the Super Bowl. I think he got his point across, even on topics that he wasn't actually talking about Drake. And Ebro and Nadeska weren't necessarily asking him about Drake, but they were. I think we got the answer that she's probably gonna get. But you know, this has been a hell of a week for Kendrick. Swept the Grammys last week. Winning 5 out of 5. Me and Bang were both surprised. We didn't think he was gonna win Record of the Year, Song of the Year. Like Song of the Year is like is a songwriters award. I was stunned. I was like, he gonna win the rap records. I was like, there's no way he's winning those two. To see that, having that great week, all the promo. And this is why I hate people be like, oh, well, you know, artists don't get paid for Super Bowl. All this promotion that Kendrick is doing now. Look at the album. GNX is still doing 65, 70,000 copies sold a week. And the album's been out 2.5 months at this point. That's crazy. And you know, not like us are scheduled to re-enter the Hot Billboard Top 20 next week. You're seeing all this other stuff. And now it's all culminating to this performance on Sunday. For any questions that people had about the song being played, when you saw the entire record industry dancing to A minor, and Don Lemon, or Don Lemon, as Miro calls him, said on his IG that, yeah, y'all weren't hearing things. I was here. The entire crowd saying A minor. And then the article came out yesterday that Rock Nation and Roger Goodell do not care if Kendrick plays not like us. So we know it's coming Sunday. It's just a matter of when. I have my projected set list of how things are gonna go. Dante, Ben, do y'all want to talk about anything about that before I get into this, or?
No, you got. I don't really have no predictions on the set list outside of the band is gonna sound crazy playing TV off, but that's really all I got. I think the show is gonna be ridiculous.
The only thing I would say is, yeah, it's definitely a guarantee that song is gonna ring off. I loved the interview. The only thing that I hated about the interview is Nadeska was being really artsy in the questions. She was being real artsy. I'm like, all right, we being a little bit too dramatic. It's just Kendrick Lamar, y'all. We ain't got to be up in there acting like this shit is goddamn Picasso, man. It's rap. It's art,
honestly,
but it's rap.
I think that's how a lot of people treat Kendrick, though. Like,
like Kendrick is a nigga. All right, he's a smart nigga. All right, that's what he is. But I loved his response, basically just saying like he do this for the sport. He watches all these things. He knew going in what he wanted and where he could go. And he didn't expect it to come here, though. So now that he's here, especially after looking at the Grammys and hearing everybody say, no, A minor, people dancing, no, he got it. Yeah, it is more than just a diss song now.
Yeah,
it's more than just a diss song. It's
like what Fat Joe said. It's in the club. that's what it's in the club now. It's lean back. It's every super popular rap record ever. And I think it's one of the most successful songs ever, man. But I gave my predictions for my set list on Summer Sessions a couple weeks ago, but some of y'all don't subscribe there, so I'm gonna give it to y'all. So this is what I think, man. This is I went and studied all the different sets the last couple of years, at least in the Rock Nation era. I didn't look at prior Rock Nation era. And usually artists do anywhere from 11 to 12 songs, and it's a 13 to 15 minute performance. So none of these songs outside of the last song is really performed in full. So this is the songs that I've got. So I think he's starting off with DNA. That just gives me the vibe he's gonna come off with. I think it'll be either DNA or Humble that he starts off with, but I'm gonna say DNA right now. I think he's gonna do a mashup, kind of like to pay tribute to all the firefighters and people who lost their lives and homes in the LA fires by doing a mix of Dodger Blue, which is dedication LA, and then going to All Right. I think that he's going to give J-Rock his shine. I think we get the J-Rock verse of Money Trees. I don't think Kendrick raps the verse. I think J-Rock does his Money Trees verse because we all know the relationship, everybody. Without J-Rock, Kendrick wouldn't be here. J-Rock was the first star on TDE. This is the 20th anniversary of TDE. And, and just listen to the Heart Park 6. Kendrick's like, yo, I was in these label meetings with J-Rock when he was getting them. So I do believe J-Rock gets his love. I think Humble gets played. Even though his biggest record by impact obviously is not like us, his biggest record by sales is still Humble. So I think Humble gets played. Now we get into the SZA things here. I did not think that he was going to play Luther until recently because I don't know if any of y'all saw the Luther Vandross official Instagram account, but they've been putting a lot of the Luther mashups on their Instagram and putting in the on the caption, can't wait till Sunday. What's going to happen on Sunday? So now I do think that's going to get played in the Kendrick SZA little part right there. And also, I didn't know it's the number 3 record in the country right now. I didn't know that too when I checked this morning, that Luther was the number 3 record in the country. So I think it's going to be a mix of All the Stars, which is the Black Panther smash, Luther, and then SZA's going to get her little hook or bridge from Snooze. Then that's gonna be a SZA. You're gonna get a little bit of squabble up. You're gonna get the mustard part, the second part of TV off. I'm not as confident about my hot take anymore about Janet Jackson, but I'm gonna stick with it. Poetic Justice, he brings Janet out. She's on her residence in Vegas, but she does not have a show on Sunday. They make that right since it's been 20 years since the tit slip. She comes out, do her thing, and instead of going to Drake's verse, we're going to go into I See Dead People, and he's going to close out, not like us, with the Southern University marching band, since they already performing in pregame. They're going to come back out. The entire arena is going to lose it, and he's going to let the arena sing the A minor part. I don't even know if he does the entire verse. There's going to be some disrespect there. That's what I think is going to be the entire show, and I'm hyped. As a day one fan, I'm hyped about this, and I think the game's going to be great. We're about to get into the game now, but I am way more excited about this halftime show than I am the actual game. What y'all think about my list? Does it sound reasonable? And we got the Jeopardy music. Y'all hear me?
I thought Dante was about to go. But I'll go and say, I think that we're not going to get the Money Trees verse from J-Rock. We're going to get Win.
Well, here's the problem with that. I thought that too. Who's Boy Wonder produced? I don't think he's clearing that.
It is not about that at this point. No, Win is going to get played. Like Win has to. It's the Super Bowl. It's his biggest hit. It's his Grammy-winning hit. That's the song people are going to know. That is a football, that's a sports.
No, I'm not disagreeing with that. We know how Boy Wonder's been with his Drake thing. You think I don't know he gonna clear that record to get played.
At this point, it don't even matter. I think that's getting played. It has to.
So besides that, everything else you think is spot on.
And I do believe Janet Jackson is popping out. Because the only 2 people that's confirmed is Kendrick and SZA.
Yeah.
We've seen some, we've seen Ab-Soul say something. J-Rock Win. I do believe that's a foregone conclusion. I do believe Janet Jackson, we're going to get Janet Jackson on that stage.
And Usher had a lot of guests last year. When I rewatched it a couple of days ago, I forgot he brought Alicia Keys out. He brought her out. Luda, Lil Jon. Dante, what you think about my list?
Yeah, I think it's pretty solid, bro. I think you can add All the Stars in there. That's something we'll probably get. That's one of the better Kendrick and SZA collabs. But I think overall, I think you're spot on. I'm interested to see. I don't know about Janet, but I do think there will be a special guest. I really wish Wayne hadn't fucked it up the way he did, because I'm pretty sure he could have been a special guest, even though they don't have a song together. But they could have found a way to make that work before all of the foolishness. But no, I think your list is pretty spot on.
There was a nigga behind me yesterday. It was two observations. Then we're gonna move on about that press conference yesterday. There was a white girl next to me who was nigga. The Weekend by SZA must have been her shit. She felt every word of that song when they were playing it before Kendrick came out. She was rapping like singing like every word. And then the nigga behind me was like, "Yeah, K-Dot gonna bring out Wayne. He gonna bring out No Limit. He gonna bring and then it just made me think about banging my head. Like, y'all niggas don't want to see Turk on the Super Bowl stage, bro. Like, and so that was the things that was coming out of them, man. But we'll see how that goes on Sunday. But let's talk about the actual game. I'm gonna do the Stephen A. first take thing, man. Legacy talk. That's what we're gonna be talking about on Monday. We're gonna be talking about somebody's legacy, man. So we have to start with the obvious 3P. That's what's on the line Sunday for this. And I will say, the vibe that I got from opening night, interviews, media availability, I think both of these teams are locked in. Like, it's not a situation where you feel like, oh, one team is happy to be there. Yeah, I think both of these teams are locked in. I haven't seen Jalen Hurts or Patrick Mahomes smile all week. I feel like, the younger players, maybe some of the younger guys on the Eagles who haven't been here before, they're more enjoying it. But I feel like both teams are locked in. So I haven't really got a pulse of who I think anything pre-game is favoring. But I'm going to talk about this 3P, man. I think that if they get this done, if the Chiefs win on Sunday, we're going to be talking about that Patriots team from the last 20 years. I feel like Bill Belichick went up there. He had all 6 rings last night. I feel like he wanted to remind niggas like, yo, y'all talk 3P, don't forget. You know what I'm saying? We was holding it down for 2 decades. I don't think that this will put them over the Patriots. Obviously, we talked about this last Friday about when we would rank them. But I do feel a 3P is going to put them in a rarefied air. Like, it's something that nobody has done. It's Tom Brady. No matter how many championships he's done, he can never say I had a 3P. In fact, there's only 4 superstars, 5 superstars on this earth in the major sports who can say they were part of 3P team. Or 6. There's Michael Jordan, there's Dennis Rodman, Scottie Pippen, Phil Jackson, Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal, and my man Derek Jeter. We all know the Yankees 3P'd. So this, I think, will put them in a different era. And if anything, this puts them at the table with these other dynasties to at least there's an actual conversation now. And not only be 3P, 4 championships out of 6 years, that's just some incredible things, man. I think the legacy right there, even with a loss, I don't think their legacy really gets affected. Like, if they lose, we're not looking at this team like, oh, well, you can just beat Patrick Mahomes now. No, I still think it's going to be, you got to beat them, but they're not going to be as bulletproof in the same way as well either. But Bane, what do you think a 3P will do for this team? What do you think we'll be talking about come Monday if they win that?
If they win that, they in Red Friday. They're the only team that matters at this point. Like when you look at dynasty, I thought about this after I said it last week that they wouldn't be the greatest dynasty of all time. I changed my mind. If they were to win a 3P, they are the greatest dynasty of all time. They're the greatest team of all time. Patrick Mahomes is the greatest quarterback of all time. You got to start having conversations about Andy Reid being the greatest coach of all time. And I think that's even a bigger one right there. For some strange reason, we don't have conversations around Andy Reid being one of the greatest coaches of all time. And we got to realize that Andy Reid did something that Bill Belichick didn't. He was successful at 2 franchises. He took the Eagles to a Super Bowl. They didn't win it. But he took the Eagles to a Super Bowl, a drive away from winning it. He was very successful with the Eagles. Then he went over to the Kansas City Chiefs, and we see what he's doing. So Andy Reid has to be considered one of, if not the greatest coach in this era. I know Bill Belichick, they're always going to say Bill, but again, Bill wasn't successful with the Cleveland Browns. He was not. So we're going to have to, I think, if that happens, that conversation needs to start happening. But yep, that's it. That 3P happened in the Super Bowl era. It's the Kansas City Chiefs, greatest team.
Dante, what do you think a 3P does for this team? What conversations will we be having next week?
They've been a conversation, but they're still not better than the Patriots. It's about longevity. Like at the end of the day, longevity is a part of these success stories, and for them to be able to do it over a 16, 18-year span, that's something that if Pat does it, then you can really tip your cap to him. But I mean, if he wins a three-peat, something that they haven't done, it just puts him in the conversation, the place that he is already in. But I mean, as far as the way people are trying to hype it or make it seem that, oh man, this is it. If he wins this, we can start talking about him as the greatest to ever do it. No, I disagree with that 100%. I think he has a long way to go. He has a long way to go. Let's be real. Tom Brady has 7 rings. Let's not do this. Let's not be so short-sighted and just caught up in the moment. And now we see this, and it will be an amazing feat if they're able to do it. But no, I think it's just we're gonna have a conversation, but it's still years to go.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I think it's a conversation starter. It doesn't change that much for me. I think the only thing he'll be able to say is when we do look back years from now, we can actually evaluate both careers in total. That'll always be something that he'll be able to have over time. Now, on the other side, why to me it's hard for me. This is just me, my personal opinion. He will never be the GOAT to me because Tom beat him twice. That's just my personal feeling. I think in order to pass that, I don't think he has to get 8 rings. That's like, let's be real, it's not gonna happen. That's I forget that Brady got 7 sometimes. It's just a ridiculous number. But I do feel that if he gets his 3-peat and he gets closer and closer, he beats some of these records. If he looks at Tom Brady's passing records and gets past some of those, then longevity is the key here. Michael Jordan is the greatest because he did so much in such a short amount of time. Like, his career was 13 seasons, really realistically 12, if you want to be real. He sat out his entire sophomore year. LeBron James, his biggest argument in the GOAT thing is how long he's done it. He's 40 years old. He had like 40 and 17 the other night. Tom Brady won an MVP in his 40s. So those are going to be things where I feel like it's going to be hard for Pat to get past, but it'll be a conversation on Monday. And with their age, his age right now.
That's why I don't put the longevity thing up in there. I mean, the LeBron James reason is the reason why I don't put the longevity thing up in there. Longevity can be damn near anybody if you stay in the league healthy enough. It's what you do while you're in the league. And I'm not saying that Tom Brady ain't did nothing. I ain't saying that. But when you look at the fact that about time you get to a certain era is where when it is Tom Brady's team. About time you get to a certain spot, it's Tom Brady's team. It has always been Pat's team. Since the minute he started, it has always been Pat's team. So when you look at it in that perspective, and while he's there, how long has he been considered the best player in the league? You can also say damn near since his first season as a starter, Pat Mahomes has been considered the best player. First year, dropped over 50 touchdowns and all that since day one. This is a unique, just like the longevity is a unique situation. This here is a unique situation. So unique situations, when you compare the unique situations, Pat can retire right now and say that Tom Brady at this point in career, you could not say that. So longevity, short time frame, it's to me, whatever you look at, which one is better. I just believe that Pat has a good enough starting lane to where if he could get a 3-peat, have this rings, this success, there's literally no reason now for me to say that this cannot continue as long as Pat is in the league and in the prime. And he's still young in the prime of his career. That's the other thing that people don't talk about.
That's a good point. He's not even 30 yet. He won't be 30 till March, I think, something like that. But let's go to the other side of this. Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts has often been overlooked. He's not in the same class as guys like Justin Herbert and Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen and Joe Burrow. Despite the fact that he always wins. This is his second Super Bowl appearance in 3 years. He was a winner in college. He's been a winner everywhere he goes. And I think a championship right here changes a lot of things, especially if he hoops. If he goes out there and he balls out, which is not out of the realm of possibility. He was the best player on the field, arguably, 2 seasons ago. I can see that again, even though I don't really think that's going to be that strategy, and we'll get to that in just a minute. If he wins this Super Bowl, let's just say he wins the Super Bowl, and it's the usual Eagles game we've seen lately, where like Saquon bodies and, he makes a couple plays, Jalen. I don't think the perspective of him individually would change, but he can at least say, yeah, all them other niggas you got over me, guess what? They're not winners. They're not me. They don't have a Super Bowl championship. But if they ditch their whatever they're usually doing after and they run them and they throw the ball and he makes plays, that's gonna make him look good. So I think that if they lose on the flip side, they lose because of him. Say he throws a couple picks, he fumbles, whatever, then it can get dark. But Jalen Hurts has an amazing chance here to flip the entire script on its head about how he's perceived in the league. Dante, what do you think a win here would do for Jalen Hurts?
I think the thing with Jalen is much like with a lot of folks, people are dug in and they beliefs on him. And so like a Super Bowl win, for those of us who, are rational thinkers and looking at the whole picture, I think it allow us to, give him a little leeway, man, actually just give him credit for the way he's been able to lead this team and be a game manager for Philadelphia. Again, this season, one of the big reasons for their success is that he has limited his turnovers. Yeah, they've had their struggles and they've had times where they haven't been able to pass the ball, but compared to last season when he was turning the ball over a couple of times a game or, every week, that was a problem. And now you see them holding on to the ball. They've really prefaced the run game. And now you see a team that, if they get this done, I think, again, with Jalen, the conversation is always going to be there because people at the end of the day will always like quarterbacks that throw the ball. That's just the game we play, and I don't care how many dual threat quarterbacks come in. I think we respect that more. But at the end of the day, we love the traditional style quarterbacks. That's why Joe Burrow gets so much love. So, until he actually does that, I think a lot of the hate that he gets won't go away. But in terms of the Eagles, I think it'll be no doubt in their mind that they paid the right guy.
Bang, what does this do for Jalen Hurts with a W?
Man, we spent a little bit of time on the show. Well, I did talking shit about Eli Manning. It puts him in that Eli Manning perspective. You just stopped one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time from winning a ring. That's what it does. But this is a little bit different too. This is what his second time in 3 years going to a Super Bowl. You got to put some respect on his name. And I think there's still people who are not willing to put respect on that kid's name. You're going to have to do that, especially if he wins.
All right, now it's time for the moment we've all been waiting for. That is pick time. We're going to give our picks and a reason for our picks. So, when Sunday concludes and we're up on this program on Monday, the Kansas City Chiefs will be three-peat champion, ladies and gentlemen. Would not shock me if the Eagles found a way to win. I think this is a really great defense. I think Vic Fangio has done well with coaching this defense. I love what the Rooks have been doing. Cornell Mitchell has been hooping. Cooper DeJean, as they call him out there in Philly. On their entire defense. I don't think it's been clarified, but I think Brandon Graham's gonna play on Sunday. Yeah, he was available to the media this week. So that makes me think he's gonna play. Yeah, he was available to the media that both all this week. He's available to the media, so that makes me think he's gonna play. I haven't seen anything solidifying that yet, but they got a chance. I just think in order for them to win this game, Jalen's got to throw the ball, and that's just not what their game plan has been this year. It's run the ball through Saquon and play great defense. And if there's comes up play where Jalen needs to make a play with his arm, he goes out there and make the play. I think Spags is one of the best defensive coordinators of all time. Spags has been in that war room the last 2 weeks, and he kind of gives me Bill Belichick vibes defensively when they know who they're going to stop. I'm not saying it's going to 100% work. I'm not expecting Saquon Barkley to have a great game. I think they're going to do everything they can to take him out the game and make Jalen Hurts beat them with their arm. If Saquon does have a great game and then it opens up the pass for Jalen, then all bets off. But I'm never picking against Patrick Mahomes. I'm just not. He could lose, but it's not going to be on my watch. I said it a year ago when they beat the Niners. I said it in the summer during, training camp. And I said it again at our NFL season preview episode. The Chiefs are going to three-peat. And I'm staying with that. Final score, Chiefs 28, Eagles 24. We get a pretty competitive game. I think that Patrick Mahomes is going to throw the game-winning touchdown, not like with no time left regulation, nothing like that, but game-winning touchdown to Travis Kelce. Even though Travis Kelce says he wants to play, would not have shocked me if he actually retires this time. So I'm going Chiefs. Dante, what's your score? Who you got and why?
Again, it's tough. It's tough going against the Chiefs. But when I was on my flight, I think Philadelphia is going to pull it out. I think, that run game is going to be really, really, really important. And I think Saquon is going to put the cap on what has been a phenomenal season. I'm going to go 24-17 Eagles. I think Saquon Barkley will be the MVP of the Super Bowl.
Bang, close us out.
I've been struggling with this, but today I figured it's the Eagles' time. It's just hard. It's hard to go against Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Andy Reid at this time. But I also think attrition has to come at some point. And playing so many games over the last couple of years, it's got to get to you. And the Eagles look like they ready. The Eagles look like they all business. The Eagles, I'm not going to say they look like they want it more, but when you go up against a team and lose in the fashion that they lost, it was no blowout, it was a close game, it really makes me believe that there is a shot for them to get it. And I think that the best place of getting it is in the trenches. I believe that the defensive line of the Eagles is better than the offensive line of the Chiefs. And I believe that the offensive line of the Eagles is better than the defensive line of the Chiefs. And when it comes to that running game, I think that Saquon Barkley is going to rush for 125 yards, 2 touchdowns, MVP. 38-35, Eagles win.
That is interesting. Like I said, I don't see it. I just can't. Like even when I try to picture them holding the trophy, I can't picture it. But we're gonna see, man. We're gonna see. So yeah, we'll be back on Monday. We're gonna have our recap show. We're gonna recap the Super Bowl, talk about all the stories coming from that. Maybe do a little soft off-season prediction. You only got a couple more weeks, and then it's gonna be combine time. And we know that it's free agency, and it's the NFL draft. Like the NFL does not stop anymore, man. So, and we're also gonna talk about this second half or last couple the stretch run of the NBA season, man. So, and after that, we'll be off to the 24th. So the 4th, the show will be the last show on Monday to the 24th. So, because the All-Star break and everything going on with that, man. So, y'all know where to follow me on all social media platforms at Barberchair Scott. Follow Dante at @OctoberZone on Twitter. Follow Bang at @JR Bang on all social media platforms. Follow the Barbershop Network at Barbershop Net. Follow HMB Media TV on Twitter, and at HMB Media on Instagram. Subscribe to the Patreon, patreon.com/Barbershop Network. If you take your phone and take it to the QR code will take you to the 4 different tiers that you can subscribe to. And if you subscribe to the $10 holla, that is the Barbershop All Access tier, you get 25% off on your first order of the Barbershop Network. I just sent out some orders today for anybody who copped. So we appreciate y'all. Y'all enjoy Super Bowl weekend, and we're going to holler at y'all on Monday, man. We are up out of here. Remember, my Super Bowl vlog drops tomorrow on HB Media and Barbershop Network. We up out of here.